Ghana ha and now any African country na se ote se ebia we are talking about colonization now who say it has got something to do with the African countries said they are brofono eba ya sebe womo ebe ye slave trade womo de nneema bi brega na for any other African countries besisa emu nipa de koye mo koye adwumadene ne ade bi mu fa mu wu ye ne. Sometimes when you go down history lane to some of the forts and some of the castles in Ghana near there, you get to know more of the stories near there. The gate of no return near there, but then for some time now, Africans have been seeking reparation from the whites. I mean, kind of said our colonial masters. Can compensate for all the hardship and the stress and the pain. Wamama ya nananum fe muni ade ene ohawa se be dia ba beto African countries no esono. This has been going on to the extent say edru baby no say UK ye hu say one lady asebe anka ye shepa na ninchi every Africa enzo ene sebe wa build ne hu to a certain pedigree o friend saying UK ntino chere say you forget about the reparation and no nso koye nsem bebre. But right now information na eba ni tremu say President John Dramani Mahama, the president of our land, sabre de say o pese one bibi man ahodo asebe omo go through that same colonialism near there no women presidents for ahodo ne come tibom so that they fight for a good cause for this whole reparation, because baby edro no they have to do something about it. Chris, when you na shall free here, and why is President John Dramani Mahama the one to lead this cause for the whole of Africans?
Sir, President John Dramani Mahama, he's seeking to become the AU chair.
Okay.
And no one. And I'm saying we're in a name for a reparation. 2025 a year African Union declares a reparation year.
Okay.
They are seeking for justice for Africans and people of African descent.
Okay.
Through reparations.
Okay.
Then Omasa declared 2026 to 2036. I think that is a decade. And also someone declared a decade of reparation. I say 2025 as well. The next 10 years they are still going to fight for their rights. And says some of these things are Africans, transatlantic slave trade, so ship free, different African countries. So there was a delegation so this delegation not US UK, the Americans, South Americans, it was a whole team. So that delegation is President John Dramani Mahama as part of the African delegation. Now so or the two many more who said this is what we are seeking for. And speaking out the other African leaders or moment who said this is a cause that they have to fight together. Because as on our face of seeking reparation for Africa. And now the African leaders say almost so he can push this cause and win for the whole Africa.
Okay. And to share your screens so you see that this is coming from Reuters, or say Ghana's president urged to rally African leaders behind push for slavery reparations. Not to say Ghana ye mampeni John Dramani Mahama and asabre de wodi mutinte mindi mu akotene said de beye bibi man amampani ahodoa wo mo ewo krom hanum sei no wo mo ebetimi agina wo mo na so agina brane na said de nua be mane kan ye no atete ne obrene enema sebe Abrofoidi ebe all in the name of colonization. Ye be boama mamweni ate ni ade ebe swaswa ye nananom ni ade ekofo bremu ni ade no. I mean, we believe that ye nananom omomodembo omadwumaden and ama today we are seeing the Western countries to be how it is. Say obeko US the system is working. They ni ade ni nyina no ehya free baby a say no I mean Africans are seeking say it should come like we should compensate ni ade and mami busa this compensation that Africans are calling for, are they calling for in the reparation in a form of cash? In the what type of reparation are we looking at here?
Yeah, so I mean, they are seeking for making, like I say, in a form of cash can home, but
Okay.
you know, it comes in different forms.
Okay.
Some are grants, and
Okay.
they are seeking for policy reforms, especially trade.
Mhm.
And they said, because of you want to compensate Africans, mungu niememu with trade.
Okay.
Some of them tariffs near I don't know. Be able to me at the test and some of them the artifacts or move any free Ghana and I say Evans Abimemu had the coin, you know. Or more siki said they return them.
Okay.
Then they're also seeking for a formal apology.
Okay.
And I mean, a formal apology. Some of the Babonting now a bit more akasa about the fact that they are sorry for all these things
How
that
they treated
happened,
us.
how Africans were treated near the in so many forms. Osha policy reform now. Make a trade. Never be brave to say movie. Then at time and I'm here for the most saw mudi omoko bebre what I say over they stated I think 12 point something million people.
Okay.
And no free Africa has see omoko ye. Na then there more mudi omoko build kroni we ye no. Ghana ha na say bibi memu ha person mu tu kwan call European countries ni bi America ni ade na akoye den.
Okay.
What I say policy reforms ni nyina it cuts across a year migration ni ade. Say the be mu betimi aye for we enjoying the fruit of your own labor.
Okay.
And see, no policy reforms ni hu bi hu and trade tariffs ni ade. And see, no in terms of sikankwa, it cuts across and nema bebre. And see, only the kind of reparation the AU is seeking from the Europeans, the Americans, and the omomaka.
Okay, but do you think, say, this reparation that President Mahama is leading and chairing, no, fa any instance so bonibia emeto my Ghana? So I mean, the Western world won't see us to be like maybe their enemies, and I say Bibisa.
Oh, there be. I mean, say the most poorest continent, Africa.
Okay.
Checking our GDP near day. Oh, check here, Africa. We are the most poorest continent. But then these things are you know. It should tell the international world said some of these things happened somewhere back in the years. Okay. What I say, it's no say. Bibi say yes, na say was some mobana mo be patch out, mobana mo make amends. And not just say you come back and then one man be say you be enemies because we are seeking for some of these things. The yana says some of Ghana, Americans, Africa or more. I mean, anti-Western world for no they are still fighting a good cause because no say. I don't know seeking reparation for no. It hasn't ended.
Okay.
You know, some way somehow this slave trade slave is still going on.
Okay.
What I say because then Benin you ever say cool si ho enya de ayepe na France to me order Nigeria say monko ho na monko support it. What business has France with Benin? Do you understand? So some way somehow they have omwangasa fa kwan bi so are connected with the African leaders are now no a diplomatic trade and I say slavery what I say the leaders in Africa some way somehow are still working for the Europeans, the Americans and all that. And people feel say at this time while you are seeking for reparation, no, this is as idea musiki reparation for no, it is still going on. And the end me say all of a sudden you be enemies to them or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Into we see for interest screens, so it says that Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama held talks with a global delegation seeking reparations for transatlantic slavery and colonialism, who urged him to rally other African leaders to choose courage over comfort and support the growing movement. Not just say, my Benny Chilema, it was saying all the presidents now said they went through that, you know, they should be courageous enough. So that they can all support him because I think the president John Dramani Mahama cannot do this on his own. He will need other presidents to collaborate. Remember, say na collabo. Said ebeya sebe nechibeye do na obetimi aye seeking for whatever they are seeking, you know, rightfully. Now, also the delegation made up of experts from Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, Latin America, and the United States presented Mahama with prior priority actions under the African Union's reparation agenda. It is said in a statement on Friday. And he said it involves a lot of people, the Arabians, Latin Americans, in Shemudi, of course, they were all involved in it. Right now, they are all fighting for a good cause. African will say, compensated for all what we've been through. Sometimes when you listen to some of the colonial stories and how certain things occurred, yes. So back to you, Mami, saw this particular question. Some of the adage and the assertion that then ya omunso buy no mama ye near be kakra kasi sebre mu bi ho no manka ya tete body ahaban bi dia tatatale ho kra achichire man ni se achichire ye mpokua no with body ahaban ne ye de kakra achichire akusia kuma ne sonso ne ye nam ne se ya but you can see both of they are wearing shooters and what for tete if not for them.
I understand where you are coming from. Yes, omo e de ni bie kakra e bae
but kakra omo de ni bia ba
omo de ni bie kakra bae. Okay, omo de ni bie bae then kind of but you know as of now no senye omo ne bae ya enka some way somehow bia nke yenje be hu how I be ye niema but e bia nke be che there, but you know, but then you were talking about President John Dramani Mahama. On say championing this kind of a cause, no. You see, say the media can say, omu jidi say, adena angasa no omu nyaye enti mo kwa kope compensation na yeden. We should fight and get it done. Minga say omu yentwa sokra. It been an 8 years for almost 30. Now they own their country. They do whatever that they want without any being being puppeted by any other maybe a European president and as will be. And he said, "O champion is such a cause as a president. Wangasa as a president, been a two Kwame Nkrumah. Do you understand? And Yangasa as Ghana and our president, no, ayana any aiding about. So people have their views that and President John Dramani Mahama no AU chairmanship our pena as a best of the Ghana in our court because already know. Yeah. Also Israel for any omokra issue cry and can do you understand? In as much as some our patch or no, this is not something that you could say or may J Manaka cry. And some way somehow the Western world no obehu president now someone who is not championing their cause. Okay. Said your how they want to, deal with Africans. Said they be caught in their favor. Now see Donald Trump signing a peace deal with Congo near Rwanda. Okachom say Obama omo big companies na baho na omo abestate abeye omo mining because a lot of minerals in between Congo near Rwanda omo border no. Obama omo baho na omo beye juma when we finish. We'll get money, everybody will get money, we'll all win. But Charlie, before on baby, 100% Congo and Rwanda, Omanya Mwan maybe at 20, 30 cranes and Yamena Abomo. I just say, it is still now, they find some way somehow to enter into our territory and do, some kind of a diplomatic slavery. Ghana, African. It's yes, Nameka President John Dramani Mahama. Yes, now people will start, the Western world will start looking at you in a funny way. In a funny way. Once a man started war, Nansiana also for be say one who cry in Drew match and some yes, Martin. So
that is all about the reparation issues that Ekoso and said in your bear this is going to take more like a decade. They are championing it. Ibegosu Edi no Echina Chase Munsembia Bebano Yeshemubose Yebebremu Emu updates. Now, right now, the man of the moment in Ghana, our trendy number one, no, enye will be say Yankasa everywhere people are talking about him, and as it stands now, no, just say